Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to the channel. Happy Thursday, everybody. I hope your day and your week are going well so far. We've got a new day, which of course means a new MLB Player Prop video to share with you guys. But first, as always, people make sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. It helps the channel grow, and it really does mean a ton to us. Plus, guys, if you aren't subscribed already, what are you doing? We have a ton of great content here on the channel between myself, Ev, and Trey. Football season's here. I actually have my first college football picks video dropping tonight at 5:30 p.m. Eastern, so make sure to check that out. You're not going to want to miss that. We have a ton of great NFL content coming up, as well as our already pre-existing MLB and WNBA content. So, guys, make sure to hit that subscribe button, join the Guy Boston Sports community today. I have 5 picks for tonight's MLB slate, but first, before we dive into today's picks, a quick little recap of how we did yesterday. And look, guys, it wasn't a sweep, but it was still a damn good day. 4-2 overall, and one of those being a plus money play that Alex Bregman over 1.5 total bases was a plus money play. By the way, he hit a home run in his first at bat, so that was an early cash for us there. But yeah, another great day on the money for us yesterday. 4-2 overall. A couple misses in that later game. It looked like we were going to go 6-0 at one point. Logan Gilbert, those first 2.5 innings, was dealing for the Seattle Mariners, but he ended up kind of blowing it towards the end. And Mookie Betts, he went 1 for 5, but unfortunately didn't strike out at all. But again, 4-2 overall yesterday. We're now on a 22-7 run over our last 6 videos. And a 14-3 run just over our last 4 videos. So we've been on a really great run here, guys. Let's see if we can't get these good times rolling. 22-7 run, 14-3 over our last 4 videos. Let's keep the good times rolling. Let's win some more mother effing money. All right, guys, jumping right into the Outlier screen here. Shout out to Outlier, the absolute best sports betting tool in the market. Guys, how many times do I have to tell you guys? We're on a 22-7 run, okay? And that wouldn't be possible without Outlier. It truly is the best sports betting tool in the market. If you want to make money like we have been in the sports betting landscape, you got to have the right tool, and Outlier is the best that money can buy. And the best part is, guys, with the offer we're giving you down below with the link in our description, you don't have to pay for it for the first 7 days. You try it out for free. For 7 days, listen, you can make enough money if you follow my advice. If you've been following along with the picks lately, you could have already made enough money to pay for your Outlier subscription for months. So it really isn't that bad. 7-day free trial. You can try it for yourself. You can see what all the hype is about. Especially with football season coming up, you're going to want to have this by your side. So make sure to check out that link down below in the description. It gives you guys a 7-day free trial. Special thank you to Outlier for sponsoring today's video. All right, boys and girls, let's get after it. First pick of today's slate, we have Guardians-Yankees, 1:05 p.m. first pitch. We're going Aaron Judge of the Yanks over 1.5 total bases. This is a plus money play. Plus 105 available on DraftKings, also available for plus money on Bet365, Caesars, and minus 104 on Underdog and minus 105 on FanDuel. As always, guys, make sure to shop around for the best sportsbook odds available. We've been doing pretty well with the plus money plays. We've hit 7 plus money bets since last Tuesday. So let's see if we can keep that good vibes rolling. I keep saying it over and over, but I want to keep the streak going as long as we possibly can. Aaron Judge has cashed this line in 8 of his last 10 games. Last 2 games actually versus Cleveland. Some really big performances, 6 bases and 8 bases last night. He's averaging 3.8 total bases per game over his last 10 games. If we go ahead and stretch the data out to the last 20, it's still really good. 14 of his last 20 games is a 70% hit rate with an average of 3.35 total bases per game. So far in 2024, a 54% hit rate on this over for Aaron Judge. 67 out of 125 games this year, he's managed to cash the over with an average of 2.58 total bases per game. And if all that data didn't convince you guys, the head-to-head data is also fantastic. 6 of his last 8 meetings with the Cleveland Guardians, he has cashed the over. That's a 75% hit rate with an average of 3.13 total bases per game. On top of all that, he's played Cleveland 5 times so far this year. He is 5-0, 100% hit rate this season versus the Guardians with some really big games. You see the last 3 games, it just keeps going up and up. He's really had a lot of success hitting off the Guardians. Unfortunately for Cleveland, they don't have Ricky Vaughn, the Wild Thing, to come out and save them this time. Aaron Judge has exceeded 1.5 bases in 8 of his last 9 games, an average of 4.2 bases per game average. We already kind of showed you that in the data here. And look at the key matchup stats down below. Aaron Judge, 334 batting average overall this year. Versus right-handed pitchers, you do see an uptick, not massive, but slight uptick to 342. His BABIP, slight increase to 390. Some slight decreases there in his ISO and extra base hit percentage, but still 50.4% is absolutely absurd. And taking a look at Gavin Williams of the Guardians, 5.02 ERA is not fantastic, but 2.66 batting average allowed, 4.34 slugging. Versus right-handed batters, you do see an increase in all those numbers to 5.30, 2.75 batting average allowed, and 4.50 slugging. You do see the extra base hit percentage, a slight drop there to 36.4. Not too concerned there. That's still a pretty high extra base hit percentage allowed. So a really solid head-to-head matchup here for Judge. He's been killing Cleveland so far this series. Let's see if he can't do it again. He's had 14 total bases over the last 2 games. All he needs is 2 to cash this over. It's a plus money play. Absolutely love the spot for Judge here. All right, guys, our second prop of today's slate, we have Brewers-Cardinals, 2:15 p.m. first pitch. We're going Miles Mikolas of the St. Louis Cardinals over 2.5 earned runs. It's available on Caesars for -113, Underdog for -120, and DraftKings for -130. Again, guys, data is solid here. 7 of his last 10 games, he has cashed the over, averaging 4 earned runs allowed per game, including each of his last 4 starts. He has cashed this over for St. Louis. So far in 2024, a 60% hit rate on the over, 15 out of 25 games this season. He's cashed the over an average of 3.32 earned runs per game. And the head-to-head data is pretty solid as well. You see 3 of his last 4 meetings with the Milwaukee Brewers. He has cashed the over a 75% hit rate, an average of 3.5 earned runs per game. He's already had 2 starts versus Milwaukee this season, back on April 20th and then again on May 12th. He cashed the over in both of those games. The first one was a 12-5 win for Milwaukee. The last one was a 4-3 win. Excuse me, tongue twisted there. 4-3 win for St. Louis. Looking down below at the insights provided by Outlier, Miles Mikolas has exceeded 2.5 earned runs in 5 straight games at home with a whopping average of 5.4 earned runs per game. Has not been pitching very well in St. Louis. Looking at Milwaukee batting versus right-handed pitchers this season. Now, overall, really good numbers. They're actually one of the better hitting teams in the league off of right-handed pitchers. I see 255 batting average, that's 6th best in the league. Now, over the last 30 games, you do see a dip in a lot of their numbers there. Some of that has to do with the fact that Christian Yelich obviously is hurt, some other things there. But still pretty good marks for the most part. 251 batting average overall the last 30 games. It's still top half of the league. It's 12th overall. Their OBP 327, 11th. Again, you do see a lot of drops in the numbers. Slugging has actually an increase in slugging at 440, which is 9th best in Major League Baseball. BABIP drops and all that other stuff. Although the numbers are a little bit lower, they are still encouraging marks. That's why you see all the green right there. And then looking at Miles Mikolas statistics, it really helps us out here. He is the 9th percentile with a 286 batting average allowed this year. Not very good. 5.41 ERA, 11th percentile. His FIP, 420. Across the board, he is not having the best of years with the Cardinals. You see over here on the right side of the screen. 8-10 record so far this season, 5.41 ERA. So, yeah, I think 3 earned runs is a pretty safe bet here. And a really good odds, honestly, from -120 if you get on Underdog. Shout out to Underdog. By the way, if you do use Underdog here for that -120 prop, we do have an offer down below. They've actually increased the offer. Underdog has increased the offer. Now they'll match your first-time deposit up to $1,000. It was $250. They're making it even sweeter for you. They will match your first-time deposit up to $1,000, and on top of that, they'll give you a special pick when you use our link down below or use promo code GUYBOSTON. So, guys, if you want to go and take this Miles Mikolas prop, -120, you can basically double your money there. They're going to give you free money with your deposit to go ahead and make a bet like this. So, really good offer there. Shout out to Underdog for partnering with Guy Boston Sports. Like I said, it's a really good offer. All right, guys, next up, our third prop of today's slate. We're going Rays Athletics, 3:37 p.m. first pitch. We have Brandon Lowe under 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. We're getting this at -105 on DraftKings, also available on BetMGM for -105, and Prize Picks for -119. Lowe has cashed the under in 7 of his last 10 games, an average of 1.6 HRRs per game. His last 20 games, 55% hit rate, not as good, but still pretty good overall, 2.15 HRRs per game. So far in 2024 for Brandon Lowe, a 56% hit rate on the under, 43 out of 77 games, an average of 2 hits, runs, RBIs per game. And in the head-to-head data, also pretty solid, 63% hit rate in the head-to-head, including 4 consecutive matchups this season with the Oakland A's. He's played Oakland 6 times in total this season. He's cashed it in 5 out of 6 games. So, Oakland, not a very good team, but Tampa Bay has had success. Oakland has had success against Lowe here. Sometimes, man, the mouth moves a little faster than the brain does. But yeah, so pretty good data there across the board for Brandon Lowe. Going down below, the insights provided by Outlier. Brandon Lowe has failed to exceed 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs in 4 of his last 5 games on the road, an average of 1.4 HRRs per game average over that span. And looking at the splits, pretty good for the most part. Brandon Lowe, 244 batting average this season. But versus right-handed pitchers, you do see a decrease there to 227. And then looking at Beto of the Tampa Bay Rays, that's Osvaldo Beto. of the Oakland A's. Apologies, not the Rays, of the Oakland A's. Guys, really screwing this one up here, huh? 3.40 ERA, 196 batting average allowed, but versus left-handed batters, now it is a smaller sample size. The ERA has a slight uptick to 3.72, but the batting average allowed drops to 1.79. So really good numbers there. Really solid matchup for a guy who's been cashing this pretty consistently all season long. And if you use DraftKings or if you use BetMGM, it's minus 105, almost even odds. I think it's worth the risk there, guys. Pretty good value, honestly. All right, guys, we have 2 props left in today's slate. Before we dive into the final 2 picks, make sure to comment shmoney down below. I think, is that SCH money or is it SH money? Well, you guys decide if you want to do SCH or SH money. Just comment shmoney because that's what we've been winning a lot of. We've been winning a lot of shmoney the past week and a half, pretty much 2 weeks, or really all season long, to be honest. So comment shmoney down below if you're watching today's video. I do appreciate that. The link for the picks for today's video will be in the description as well as the pinned comment. Again, I always appreciate you guys for watching through the video. I put a lot of work into it, so I appreciate those who actually stick around and watch through the entire thing. All right, guys, our 4th prop of today's slate, we have the Phillies-Braves game, 7:08 p.m. first pitch. We have Michael Harris of the Braves, over half a strikeout. Pretty high odds, but you're going to see in a second why it's so high. Minus 145 on BetMGM, minus 150 on DraftKings. The data is absolutely fantastic in this prop. I see Michael Harris has cashed the over in 8 of his last 10 games, an average of 1.3 strikeouts per game. So far in 2024, a 66% hit rate on the over for Michael Harris. 49 out of 74 appearances this year for Atlanta. He's cashed the over with an average of 0.93 strikeouts per game. And if those numbers didn't get you aroused, maybe this one will. Head-to-head data, 73% hit rate versus the Phillies here. 16 out of 22 games this year, or since 2023, I should say, versus the Phillies. He's cashed the over, an average of 1.09 strikeouts per game. A lot of matchups versus Philadelphia and a lot of strikeouts. So really good a lot of recent head-to-head data as well. Just this season here, you see these are all numbers from this point on. 4 out of 5 meetings this year with Philadelphia. He's cashed the over, and then of course all the previous data as well. So a lot of great data there for Michael Harris. There's a reason this prop is at minus 145 and minus 150. The insights provided by Outlier. Michael Harris II has exceeded half a strikeout in 6 of his last 7 games, an average of 1.4 strikeouts per game average over that span. Looking down below at the key matchup stats, Harris versus Christopher Sanchez, 5 plate appearances since 2018. 4 of those 5 plate appearances, he struck out. So, again, really, really great matchup here. There's a reason it's minus 150. He has struggled mightily versus Christopher Sanchez. Michael Harris so far this year, 247 batting average overall. Versus left-handed pitchers, a slight uptick to 250, but also an uptick in his strikeout percentage to 23.2% and just a 2% walk percentage. This guy, if he doesn't strike out, I would be absolutely shocked and devastated, but mostly shocked if he didn't strike out in this game. All the numbers, all the data points to a strikeout. This bet just feels, this might, I'm not going to say it. I don't want to jinx it, but it feels like a lock. Christopher Sanchez so far this year, 18.6% strikeout percentage overall, 20.2 versus left-handed batters. So that's a pretty good mark there. Strikeouts/walks, 5. So really good data across the board. This is a solid prop. You understand why it's minus 150. I know you're going to have to put a little bit of money if you want to bet a straight bet, but even in a parlay, really great prop. Really great prop. All right, guys, in our 5th and final prop from today's slate, we have Mets-Padres, 9:40 p.m. first pitch. We have Jackson Merrill of the Padres over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. Available on DraftKings and BetMGM for minus 140. Another one with higher odds, but again, it's for good reason. The data is fantastic. 7 of his last 10 games, he's cashed the over. An average of 2.5 hits, runs, RBIs per game. Even if you look at the last 20 data, it's really solid. 15 of his last 20 games, he's cashed the over. It's a 75% hit rate, an average of 3 HRRs per game there. So far in 2024, a 53% hit rate on the over, 64 out of 121 games this year. He's cashed the over, average of 2.16 HRRs per game. And the head-to-head data is solid as well. Each of the last 3 times he's faced off with the Mets, which is all this season, he's cashed the over, 100% hit rate with an average of 2.67 HRRs per game. Looking down below, the insights provided by Outlier, Jackson Merrill has exceeded 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs in 4 of his last 5 games at home. That's a 3.2 hits, runs, RBIs per game average over that span. Merrill this year is batting .291 overall, but versus right-handed pitchers, which is a pretty large sample size, 339 plate appearances, .320 batting average versus right-handed pitchers. Really good numbers there. And then looking at Luis Severino of the Mets down below, .391 ERA overall, .238 batting average allowed, but versus left-handed batters, you do see some pretty good increases there. Not significant, but good. To .406 ERA, .246 batting average allowed, 1.4 home runs per 9 innings, and a .317 OBA. So across the board, numbers increase versus left-handed batters. A lot of green there on both sides of things. It's a really solid prop. Again, it makes sense why it's minus 140, but guys, it's minus 140 for a reason. This is a really, really solid prop. All right, guys, so that's all 5 picks from today's slate. Quick little recap here. We have Miles Mikolas over 2.5 earned runs, Jackson Merrill over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs, Aaron Judge over 1.5 total bases, Michael Harris II over half a strikeout, and Brandon Lowe under 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs. All 5 of these props are available on DraftKings. 4 out of 5 underdog. You can go ahead and look down below and see which sportsbooks have them available. But it's very convenient to follow along when you use the link. So, guys, that does it for me today. Thank you very much, as always, for watching. One more time, guys, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, and drop a comment down below. Barring any injuries to my dogs, we will be back tomorrow with Freaky Friday 5-leg parlay. We missed it last week because of an injury to my puppy, Bruin, who is recovering. It's a little bit of a hassle when you have a 6-month-old puppy full of energy and he has a broken leg that he can't walk on. So a little bit of hassle, but things are good. But barring anything like that, we should be back tomorrow with our Freaky Friday 5-leg parlay plus some picks as well, guys. And don't forget to make sure to check out tonight at 5:30 p.m. Eastern time. My college football week 0 picks video is coming out. Not a lot of picks to share because not a lot of games, but I do have 3 picks to share in that video that I think you guys will want to check out. So make sure to check that out. Subscribe. Until tomorrow, guys, I hope you're all winners. Have a good one, everybody.